Hello everyone. Today we're going to be looking at a few new features of our latest point releases. Liberty version 5 build 8 points 23 and 24. As usual, we've added features to both the public or the search or OPAC side of things, and also the staff side. Let's start out with the OPAC features, which mainly revolve around personalization or self-service features. So if you have directed your users to set up or finish setting up our mobile app, recently renamed from Library Link to be Liberty Link, then here in the details of My Portal, when you're logged in, you may have noticed this QR code, which contains the link directly to your Liberty and also to the logged in user. Well, we thought perhaps that was a bit buried, so what we've done is we've created a brand new kind of information box. So in addition to our new image box and a lot of old friends, there is now a Liberty Link box that will contain this basic instruction. You can add it in as quickly as just saying next. Don't need to change style or text. We've sort of set it up to be pretty much something that should work immediately. And now you can direct your users to your welcome page so that once they've downloaded the app and can complete the setup by just scanning that QR code. The other change we've made to information boxes, actually I'm not going to show you, I'm going to tell you about a bit. So here in the new image information box, this is the image that was uploaded to create this box. And for a couple of reasons, you're not always able to manage the image itself. For example, it may not load for some technology reason. And more importantly, you may have users who use screen readers. And these won't read the image, they will read some text, and by default it would just be the name of the image, whatever you've called it. So there is another field that is available but not turned on by default, which is called the image alternative text. And that gives you the ability to put in the text that you would want to represent the image that, again, for either technology reasons or for screen reading reasons, won't show. So if that's something that makes sense to you to add into your Liberty, the usual instructions are to go to the staff side, to go into System area and Pages, turn it on, and then come back here and be able to add in that extra field. Again, the name of the field is the image alternative text. Now let's go over and look at some changes that we did in the My Portal area. Let's start out with messages, which is in a sense partly related back to the mobile app. So as you can see, I've received a number of alerts or messages because I was subscribed to interest or I was subscribed to serial notifications, typically for electronic content. And when that email was sent to me, a matching alert or message was created. If you would like to get rid of them all because the email was enough, you can now select them all and then delete them all with a single click. If this messages area in My Portal does not appear for you, you may have taken it off the screen. But if the same users that were not seeing their alerts here use the mobile app, they might see them there. So we've given you a way to clean up, if I can say that, the alerts that may not be of interest to people. But I think even more importantly, we've added a new parameter so that you can decide to have only emails and not the dual email and alert. That new parameter is 3123, and as always with parameters, you just go to the staff side into management, open your parameters, search for 3123, and change it from the default yes, which is to provide both, which is what we've always done, to a no, and there will be no more alerts based on interests or notification from serials. Our next stop will be here in the loans area. We've made a few changes. The most obvious one is that cover images are now available, not just in current loans, but in all the loan tabs. So if you would like to have the images, they are there by default. If you decide that you don't want the images, either because you don't have enough images in your data or you just don't want them, you can turn them off by turning on pages and then just removing that field from the loans display. So in addition to the images, the Overdues Loans tab also has an old friend, which is the renewals. Both the renew all and paying attention to your lending rules so that things that should not be renewed are not, and things that can be renewed have the appropriate image or function icon. And our last stop is here at Loan History. We got a lot of requests that there wasn't enough information on the Loan History tab. So in addition to the new cover image, we've added 10 fields. 3 will appear by default. These would be author, edition, and publication date. But if you want to move them around on the screen, take any of those 3 off or add in any of the other 7. The other fields include the EAN, the GMD, ISBN and ISSN, the LCCN, the publisher, and the series. So you should be able to describe each of the previous loans in enough detail to satisfy your patrons. And now I think it's time to go over to the staff side. And our first stop will be with Z-catalouging. Let's just do a search. And we'll look at that across a couple of providers. What we have added is this ability to manage multiple results on a given provider, in this case, the British Library. So if I were looking up some kind of, for example, a series or something like that, I could actually select all and all 20 would be selected. And then perhaps I could deselect a couple and then go on and import my selected. Selecting all or clearing all, which is the other option, is within each of the providers. So if I were to select all here, you can see that it doesn't affect the other one. So we hope that will help with your efficiency in cataloging when you're using Z-catalouging. Our next stop is in circulation. So we'll be going over to the overdue notices. And currently, most typically when you define an overdue notice, you're defining the number of days that it's overdue, and during this time period, this notice will be sent out. We've added a new field to the overdue definition, which is called loan filter, and it will default to days overdue range, which is what we've always done, but we're now giving you some other options. For example, you could say this notice goes out to all loans, or this notice goes out to all overdue loans, or to all permanent loans. Think about the ability to send out a nice notice that just asks in a kind way, do you still have these things? We've already discussed days overdue, and you can also, if it makes sense for your need, you can change it to a fixed date range so that the notice would go out for all things due within this specific time range based on date. And our final stop on the staff side is here in serials. In subscriptions, we've added a new field. We've given you the ability to add an attachment to your subscription. So those of you who deal with the interesting challenges of serials know that you might have something like a complex licensing contract, or perhaps there are notes on a PO that came along with this particular membership or subscription. We all have these documents, and we've now given you the ability to attach them not just to the title, but to the specific subscription, as in this example we have two different subscriptions, and that attachment would be on just the specific one. So thanks for your time today, and we hope that you will enjoy these new features as we continue to work hard to increase the value of your liberty for you and your users.